Hi everybody, this is going to be a fresh peach and fresh cherry pie. Stay tuned, we'll get started. As you can see, main ingredients, fresh peaches, fresh cherries, good butter, a little lemon, and sweet. All right, we'll get started. Bye-bye. Hi everybody, how is everybody doing? I have a spring pie that we're going to make. We're going to be using spring peaches, spring white peaches. They are ripe right now. You should go get them. There is a difference. The white peaches are, to me, they have more of a peach flavor. It's a delicate peach, but they make the best pies, jams. So we're going to be using white peaches today. We're going to be making a fresh white peach spring pie, and we're going to also put in some fresh cherries because cherry season is now here as well. So we're going to make a peach and cherry pie, a spring peach and cherry pie. We'll get started right now. Okay, so these are the peaches, and you can see that they're not orange. They're a pale yellow. These are white peaches. So we're going to get started. I've already peeled. I always leave a little bit of the skin on them because there's a lot of flavor in the skin. I don't use it all, but I do keep some of the skin on the peaches. They are so flavorful. The skin is very flavorful. Okay, so I'm just going to peel this last one and add it to the bowl, and then we're going to get going. And as you can see, I'm not taking all of the skin off of the peaches. Leave a little bit on. Number one, so that you realize it's a peach. And number two, because of the flavor. So that's what we're doing there. Okay, I'm going to sit that there. We're going to cut up this last peach. There's no real direction on how you want to cut the peaches. When they're super mushy, or when they're really firm like this, and these aren't super firm, they're really in between. They're perfect for eating, just eating. So I'm cutting them in hunks. About like that. Not any of them precise. Because this is a peasant food. This is not a gourmet pie. This is a country pie. This is a country pie that was made when you pick a few peaches off the tree, you go in the house, you cut them up. You add whatever fruit you have on hand. If not, just peaches. That is fantastic. You know I love peaches. And there you go. We're not going to cook them. We're going to put them in the pie the way they are. And let the juices and everything cook inside the crust. So, here we go. To this, we are going to add 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. We are going to add a cup of sugar. Easy peasy. This is a spring pie. Make it. It'll take you, once you get everything prepped, it'll take you 15 minutes to put it together. To that, we are going to add a nice little squeeze of lemon. Nice little squeeze. I would say about a teaspoon or so. You add that. We're going to put the butter on once we put the crust on it. And our cherries. So we'll be right back and I'll show you how to put it together. Okay, so it's in a bigger bowl. And everything is in it so far. The sugar, 1 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. There is a pinch of salt in here as well. And a teaspoon of lemon juice. That's what's in it so far. Next, we're going to add the cherries. 1 cup of cherries. Fresh cherries, pitted but left whole. To that, we're going to add 1 stick of butter. I'm using unsalted butter, but you can use salted and just don't add salt. That works fine. If you don't want butter, you can, of course, use a butter substitute. That's fine. Use what you have. This is a pantry dessert. This is something other than maybe the fruit at the moment that you'd have to get. Everything else, it's a pantry. You have these things in your pantry. So, use what you have. You got a couple cups of flour, and you got some butter, a pinch of salt, you can make your dough. Everything else, use what you have. Use what you have. To that, we're going to put about a tablespoon of vanilla. And we're going to put we are going to put 1/8 of a teaspoon, not even quite 1/8, because like I said, nutmeg can be a bully. So we're not using a whole lot of nutmeg. So you're going to be using about 1/2 of 1/8 of a teaspoon, a 1/16 of a teaspoon. Okay. Because you want your peaches and your cherries or whatever fruit you're using. But I hope you go out and try these white peaches because they're lovely and they're spring and they're tender and they're delicate. And they make an awesome, awesome, awesome pie. And that's what we got so far. We're going to set it aside, make our crust, and then we're going to assemble them. All right. Our board is dry, which we need for crust. I made my crust up earlier so that it can be chilled. Always do that because it cooperates better if it's chilled. Liberally put flour on your board. And then you're going to transfer. I kind of activate it a little so that it rolls well. Once I get it out of the refrigerator, just kind of unstiffen it a little bit. Then you get out the old rolling pin and you roll. You roll the dough, and we're putting it in a 9-inch pie crust, a pie pan. So that's what we're doing with this. So you roll it out. And one or two of my videos, I have a crust recipe. And then if you go into the descriptions, I've put it in the descriptions as well before. So if you go back to some of the videos where I made a pie or a cobbler, you would be able to find it. But it's a simple crust. Like I said, it only has butter, flour, a pinch of salt, some ice water. That's it. And of course, I flour each time I fold it in so that it doesn't stick when I take it back, when I unfold it in the pan. All right. So the dough is in the pan. Give it some room to make sure it adheres to the shape of the pie pan. Then you're going to just put a few holes. Even dough has to breathe. So you do that. Okay. So there's our dough. There's the dough. All right. So now we got to trim it a little bit. Just a little because, well, I'm going to wait until I get the other layer on. Let's not do that yet. Okay. So now we're going to dump everything we've made into our shell, our pie shell. All right. All those luscious peaches and fresh pitted cherries. It's a high pie. It's a little bit high. But as you know, as it cooks, the fruit shrinks. And once it shrinks, your pie will get smaller. So you have to overfill it. In order to have a full pie, at the end, you have to fill it up. All right. So there it is so far. All right. So we're going to set it aside and we're going to make our top crust. See? And we're going to make our top crust, put it on there. Oops. Get in there, juice. Get in there. We are not having that. Nope. Nope, not today. We need all of our good juice. And with that cornstarch in there, it will thicken it up nicely. So once the pie cools and you cut it, it should keep its form nicely. So get that up. Okay. All right, so now we're going to get our second layer. We're going to get our top layer. And again, don't take out your layers until you're ready to use them, because keeping it cold is what makes your crust flaky. It's that butter in it. So that butter, that cold butter, is what keeps your crust flaky. All right, we're going to roll it out the same way we rolled out the bottom crust. Just roll, roll, roll. I think pies are one of my favorite things to make, Only because you can put anything in it. You can make it savory, you can make it sweet, you can make it playful, you can make it serious. And it really helps you to pay attention to the seasons, the fall pies, the winter pies, the meat pies, the fruit pies, the custard pies. You know, there's so many pies. So many pies make a meal. All right, we've got everything in here. We've got our fresh white peaches. We've got our fresh cherries. Put that one right on top. We've got our butter. We've got our sugar. We've got our lemon juice. We've got our pinch of salt. We've got our cornstarch to thicken that juice up once it starts rendering juice. So we're ready to go. We're ready to close it. We're going to put it in a 350-degree oven because we want it to cook steady, but we don't want it to cook too fast because this fruit has to cook. So we want to cook it steady, 350. That is a great, perfect temperature for it. Now we're going to cut and trim our dough all the way around so that our pie looks good. Nobody wants an untidy pie because you do eat with your eyes way before you taste it. As a matter of fact, most times when you go to a bakery or even look at a menu, you look with your eyes way before you taste it. So you try to make it as nice as you can. You do the best you can. So we're trimming our crust. And this crust, as I've said before, I will keep and freeze. And when I make another pie, I will have pie crust. I will have pie crust. If I'm making dumplings, I will have dumpling crust left over and use that. You don't throw it away. That dough will come in handy. A couple more pieces of dough like this, and I've got another pie. All right. So then we tuck both of them, we tuck them in together, like we're putting it to bed, and then we just squeeze. Tuck them both in, and then you just squeeze. This seals in all the juices. This seals in all the juices so that it doesn't run out. It steams the fruit inside so that it cooks. So make sure you tuck both ends in. That's a little bit more than what I want. So we'll just do that. And we'll do that. And this is all you do. I mean, you know, it's no rhyme or reason to it. It's your pie. It doesn't matter how it turns out. It really doesn't. As long as it tastes good, that's all that matters. That's all people will really remember is, I want some more of that. That's what they'll remember. And when you hear, I want some more, that is the best compliment you could ever have. Okay. So, that's it for the pie. Oops. Let's let's see. Now I need a pastry brush because we have to put an egg glaze over it, which is just one whole egg that I beat with a fork. That's it. And we're going to put some holes in because we need this pie to breathe. So I put one hole in each side, and I do a little X in the middle. X marks the spot. But you can put any kind of cut or design you want. Totally up to you. Play with it. Make it your own. Some people, they will carve their initials in their pie, you know, as their stamp. I think that's really clever. I think that's really cute. Whatever you want to do, make it your own. Make it your own. I know one person, she likes to get her kids involved in her baking. So when she's making a pie, she allows them to create her logo for her pie. And they will just really sit down and come up with the cutest little logos, the little drawings. And she will put them on her pie. Simple little logos, nothing elaborate, but she will put them on her pie. And they feel, because if the kids is involved, they will eat it. They will eat it if they are involved. I don't care what kind of pie it is. If they're involved in it, then they'll eat some. And that's a good way to get them to eat a pie that they may not ordinarily eat. So try it and see. There's just all kinds of things. But this is a spring white peach and fresh cherry pie in honor of spring and because I love white peaches. And that's why. And I'm sharing it with you. I want you to make it. I want you to make it your own. Use whatever fruit you want. But if you go to the store, especially like I said, right now, this time of the year, you can get the white peaches. Try them. Try them if you haven't tried them. Those who know, know. All right. That is our pie. I'll let you see it when it comes out in probably about 50 minutes, 50. Probably about 50 minutes. But I'll let you know. I'll bring it out and let you see it when it's done. All right. We'll be back. Here is the fresh white peach and fresh cherry apple pie. Just came out the oven. Too hot to slice, but I wanted you to see it. I wanted you to see it. It smells wonderful. Have a blessed day. Thank you for watching. I'll be back with another video soon. The next one I think is going to be cookies. All right. God bless you all. Bye-bye.